Hello and welcome to another episode of Battle Ready. And we had some other things planned, but then we saw the video. So we knew 4.0 I mean, we didn't know. It wasn't announced. But I think we all knew 4.0 is coming, right? They're on a 3-year cycle. There's even been a lot of rumors and even leaks showing that Skaven are in the starter box.
Oh,
right?
really? I have not seen those.
Yes. So it's like, okay, so there wasn't... It's not a surprise, right? We sort of knew it was coming.
Yeah.
But then they released the teaser.
Apparently a Sigmar has lied to us.
Well, let me tell you, I was pumped after seeing that teaser. I was so excited. I thought that was amazing. And I think, at first, I thought it was so cool. But then as I thought about it more, I think I know why I think it's awesome.
Why?
Because of the end. Because of the Sigmar lie.
Yeah.
Because I think... that is telling us that the whole conceit of
Stormcast,
of the whole world, right? It's the age of Sigmar, right?
Yeah.
And Sigmar, he's not perfect for sure, but he's like the good guy, right? And he's fighting chaos, and he's trying to defend the mortal realms. He's trying to make the place safe for the mortals, the humans, and the elves, and the dwarves to run around and do stuff. So he's like the animating force for good, the proponent of civilization.
And he lied.
And if he lied...
What did he lie about?
That's a big thing. Well, it turns it on its head. It's like, okay, so is he? So I think it's really going to be a disruption in the current narrative. And I am here for it.
Yeah. Because
there wasn't much disruption from 3.0 from the start. Like, Broken Realms was good, and then 3.0 happened, and the world just... stagnated. Like, nothing happened.
Well, after the start of 3.0 with Kragnos running around. After Kragnos finished running around...
Right, that's in Broken Realms.
Oh,
right?
that is.
Where he attacks Excelsis.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yes. That's in Broken Realms, and then he gets teleported away, and then it's the era of the beast.
Wah,
wah, wah. So, not that there weren't cool things that happened model-wise, or range refreshes, or rules were good in 3.0.
Yes.
But the story just sort of went flat.
Yep.
Just flat.
Yeah.
And we'll probably talk about this a little bit later, but at least so far, the Dawnbringer story is dumb. I'm not comparing it to Broken Realms. It's just not. Anyway, we'll get to that later. But the idea of a shakeup of Sigmar lied, I am here for it. I am excited and ready for it. So, what did he lie about?
I think he lied about something with Stormcast Reforging.
All right, what about?
I think he might have actually lied to Grungy.
Okay.
And to everyone, and that the Stormcast, once they get reforged one too many times, they are put down and stopped. I think he's been secretly training these things as kamikaze missiles against chaos.
So yeah, there's been a lot of theories about that. The so-called Ruination Chamber. That they are Stormcast on their last reforging.
I think they're past the last reforging. They've gone several times over.
I think that's a good idea. So let me talk about a couple of ideas I had about Sigmar lied. Some of these I thought of. Some of them I've seen on forums and stuff. So it's not like I came up with all these things. But the first thing I thought of, especially because it's a Sigmar, you see the town, right, and you hear some stuff in the background, and then there's a big lightning, almost like Stormcast are going to show up.
It
and then
seems
it just goes to black, right?
It seems like a Sigmar just jumped down.
Well, I wonder if Sigmar lied isn't going to be about something, maybe it will be about something specific, but maybe it's a rallying cry for Stormcast who leave Sigmar. Right? So Stormcast, that's why the lightning's coming. And there they are, but they're not Sigmar's Stormcast.
They're renegades.
They're renegade Stormcast. Now, I don't know if they're going to be chaos tainted. They could be a lot of different things. Yeah. But even if it's just almost like how we have a anti-Marathi faction in Daughters now, sort of. To see something like that, an anti-Sigmar faction, so traitor Sigmarites, right, within Stormcast.
Or they might fancy themselves like better Stormcast, like they're trying to help the people instead of...
Right, whatever Sigmar is doing is bad and wrong. They know the true way, whatever that looks like, And so they're going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be pretty cool.
That would be awesome.
Right? Having some renegade Stormcast. Plus, I feel like I think Stormcast have a cool backstory in that every time they get reforged, they lose a piece of themselves, right?
Mhm.
And so it's almost a tragic or in some ways, a
Sad.
horrific, right?
Horrific, yeah.
A way to be, even if you are technically
A god.
immortal, right?
Yeah.
Like a demigod, you're going to come back to life every time. But if you have people who are like, but other than that, they all sort of just follow Sigmar. The God King's will. We'll do what Sigmar says.
Yeah.
And so they're all sort of pretty close to
Sacrificial.
lockstep, right? So it would be pretty cool to have a faction cutaway.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, Sigmar lied. We're our own Stormcast.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty
for
cool.
what you just said, I'm sort of got an idea for a faction that isn't like Sigmar's wrong. We are right. Maybe they're a survivalist group escaping Sigmar so that they don't get killed over and over.
Well, if you read God Eater's Son, which I'm only about 2/3 of the way through, so far fabulous, but that's sort of what that's about. Except he decides that the Sigmarites who come in under Sigmar are bad, and he doesn't want to follow them. So he becomes the Dark Oath, the slaves to darkness.
Mm.
And he's not worshiping any particular god. It's not like he swears to Korn or to Nurgle or anybody. He's this Dark Oath guy who's finding his way towards power without going through Sigmar.
Mm.
All right, but that's just one theory. I think pretty cool.
That'd be awesome.
I don't know if that's going to be it. In fact, it probably won't be it. But in my brain, I thought of it, and so now I like that idea. All right, what if Sigmar lied about something? And we're going to find out.
Yeah.
So here's a couple options. One, what about this? What about this? What's the flaw in the reforging?
The Stormcast lose pieces of themselves as they reforge.
What if the flaw is intentional? What if it's built into the system so that eventually
he gets these.
The people are stripped away of all their humanity, so they're perfect soldiers to fight chaos with? What if that's what it's meant to be? So Sigmar lied by calling it a flaw when really that was his intention all along.
That makes him evil in a way.
It does make him evil in a way. You could see why people would say Sigmar lied and then be mad about it, right?
Yeah.
I like that. What do you think of that one?
That is interesting.
I think that would be super cool. Sigmar's, like we said before, he's sort of the good guy, right? He creates the pantheon. He gets all the other gods to sort of work together.
Sort of.
He helps Gorka Morka. He frees Nagash. He's like the goodest man, the goodest little boy. But really, he's just as corrupt as everybody else because his soldiers that he steals from Nagash, right? He steals their soul. He is slowly whittling away their humanity until he has just calm, collected soldiers, emotionless. That'd be pretty cool. All right. What about, this is related, not as dramatic. I probably should have led with this one. Not as dramatic. What if he lied because maybe it is a flaw.
Yeah.
It is a flaw. But he knows it's not fixable. It's part of the process. So the whole sacrosanct chamber, there's all these Stormcast who are running around trying to figure out the flaw. They're all on a fool's errand.
That Sigmar purposefully sent? Yeah,
because Sigmar is trying to. Oh, maybe purpose or not.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not purpose, but maybe they feel like they've been lied to because they had this whole chamber where their whole mission is to deal with souls and to help people and to figure out the flaw, and it turns out it's
irreparable.
It's not fixable. Yeah. So Sigmar lied because their whole mission is basically a goose egg. It's nothing.
Maybe he's trying to just discover artifacts that could help him.
Right. Maybe it turns out
this lie about.
Maybe it turns out that they weren't really. That wasn't their real goal. Their real goal was to go into these places, into Nagash's tombs and stuff.
Yeah.
Finding soul stuff, but really they're finding artifacts or they're finding other clues, and so they feel lied to because that's not what they were here for. Just like the people in Predator. All right, they thought they were on a rescue mission. All right.
And they were there for what?
You'll see. We'll see when you're older and you watch that one.
Oh.
All right, here we go. Here's another potential lie. What about the lie is, well, what have we been told about Azir?
It's unreachable.
There's no chaos in Azir. What if they lied? What if there is chaos in Azir?
What if Azir is just as corrupted as everything else and no one knows?
Right. Well, the mortal realms are huge, right?
Oh yeah, they're massive.
And so Azir and the Sigmarabulum and
Sigmarabulum.
Yeah, that thing.
That the big place.
But the place where all the Stormcast are,
That's fine.
It's big and it's huge.
There's gonna be.
But I'm sure it's a small corner.
Oh yeah.
Of Azir. What if you go beyond it just far enough, it's tainted by chaos like everything else?
That would make sense. Because surely some of the humans that escaped through the realm gates when chaos first hit were corrupted.
I believe you, but don't call me Shirley. Well, I think that would be cool when we learn that Azir was supposed to be this untouched land. It's where all the Azorites are from, and they're coming from Azir down to, help the cities. What if Azir is just as corrupted as everything else?
I just came up with another one Sigmar lied about.
What?
What if Sigmar lied to the Stormcasts?
About what?
About how Azir is actually this perfect place. Because he has that whole arena with shade that he can create any area.
Mm-hmm.
What if that's all of Sigmar?
Mm-hmm.
And because we know they don't leave.
Oh yeah. So the arena was a gift from Malarian.
Yes.
So and Malarian uses it to spy on the Stormcast. So theoretically, that power is
just there.
Is just there.
But we don't. What if Sigmar found a way to copy it?
Sure.
And spread that through all of Sigmar.
Mm-hmm.
And so the outside lands of Azir are swathed with chaos monstrosities, but they think Azir is just this molten pit or something, and so they just don't go there. And so it's a double thing where the Stormcasts are being lied to, and that Azir is this perfect place that they don't need to defend from outside. And the guys out there are lied to by Sigmar, and that it's just this giant pit.
Yep, maybe. I like that. All right, what about this? What if the lie to the... So this is related a little bit to what we discussed before, but what if the lie is to the Stormcast?
Mm-hmm.
What if the lie is that they have free will at all? Maybe that's why they all follow the God King so devotedly and completely, is because they think they have a choice. They think they can do what they want and that they're choosing to follow Sigmar, but really their free will was beaten out of them on the anvil of apotheosis, and they don't have any free will. They are
monsters.
Bound. They are slaves to Sigmar. Maybe that would spawn a renegade faction too.
That somehow is from the Sark was saying of the renegade faction, and they found a way through all their artifact finding to find a way to break that, and now they realize it, and they're the renegade faction.
I
also just came up with another one.
Okay, what's your next one?
So in the Karajan book, when it goes for the little Barak Nar section,
mm-hmm.
It says that the one super rich Karajan guy with the mustache guns, he keeps on having this dream about being reforged.
Uh-huh.
What if, because for all we know, all of the Sigmarite peoples look like just normal humans.
Yeah, all the models we've seen have been human, for sure.
What if Sigmar lied that dwarves and elves can be reforged too? Because as far as we know, there's no record of a dwarf or elf being reforged.
That's true. We have Tornus the Redeemed, right, who was a chaos follower.
But he was a man.
But he was a guy. But yeah, other races don't seem to be part of
the system.
The Stormcast system.
So what if that's what Sigmar's lying about, that other races can be saved and he's just waiting for better things.
Or what if they can be saved and he's just like, I hate dwarves. Dwarves are dumb.
Or maybe he's just waiting for...
I'm not going to reforge dwarves.
Or maybe he's waiting for the best dwarf because he knows the humans are easily corrupted, and so he finds subpar humans to what he's expecting of the higher races.
Maybe.
Dwarves and elves.
Maybe. All right, my last thought.
Your last thought.
Okay, what's the name of the faction?
Stormcast Eternals.
Eternals.
Whoa.
So we know, for example, that some people, whether for whatever reason, aren't able to be reforged, and they turn into lightning geists, right? And that's part of what the Sacrosanct Chamber does is they protect those geists and lock them away or whatever, since they can't be reforged. What if the lie is that some people turn into lightning geists? What if the truth is all stormcasts eventually turn into lightning geists?
I think that's mentioned in the lore that if they get reforged one too many times, they become lightning geists.
Well, I think they talk about that, but at least the way that I read it was that they get reforged one too many times, meaning
they go insane.
Eventually they lose too much of themselves and they're not strong enough to undergo the reforging. But we have stories of people being reforged like a gajillion times.
And they're still kicking.
And they're still good. So, but maybe it's not so much about, oh, this was a weak person, so they turned into a lightning geist. This is a strong person. He can be reforged 50 times. Maybe it's just true that every so often that the price of doing business is you're going to turn into a lightning geist. You are not eternal. You are not a stormcast eternal.
You're a
stormcast for a while. You're a stormcast
until you become
eternal, not eternal.
Maybe what happens is it's just random luck after a certain point. Like you could have 5, 10 reforgings.
Maybe there are 2 flaws in the reforging, right?
Or maybe the flaw that it's a conjoined flaw, the losing memory, because we know some stormcasts lose it faster or differently than others.
That's true.
So maybe some people who lose it faster will become lightning geists faster.
That could be. All right.
There's so many things.
There's so many things, and I'm sure there are things that we haven't thought of.
Yeah.
Of those things, what do you think would be the coolest?
I think that other race is getting reforged. Or maybe the one we came up with that can join several ideas of Sarcosaint breaking the lock on breaking Sigmar's lock in their mind and becoming a renegade faction. One of those 2.
I like my favorite is the idea that Sigmar, the flaw in the reforging is intentional.
Yeah, I like that.
That Sigmar isn't this goody good. He's actually in at least this way, just as evil as Chaos.
Yeah.
Right? I really, really like that. And he might say, oh, well, it was necessary in order to fight Chaos and the ends justify the means and that sort of thing. I really like that. I also like the idea of Renegade Stormcast. I think that would be super cool.
It seemed like that's what it is. Renegade Stormcast.
Well, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows, right? But I think that would be pretty cool. So let us know your thoughts.
I came up with something else.
Oh, what is it?
So, or about the Renegade thing.
Mm-hmm.
In the video, we've been focusing entirely on the Sigmar light thing, but not the before part where it shows them in a town. Why?
It doesn't show anybody in a town. It just shows a town.
The lightning in the town. Because that usually signifies a stormcast coming down.
Right. Yes.
Why in a town? Why would he send someone into the middle of a town instead of on a battlefront?
So my guess, I don't know, it's just a guess, but my guess is since we pretty much know that the antagonist in the starter box, at least, is going to be Skaven.
Yep.
They're going to come up through the sewers. So I think we're going to have a lot of, just like we've had a lot of like Dawnbringer terrain and boards and stuff, and it's all desert and gurish. I think we're going to see stuff that's more towny. Is my guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But the reason I would use that landing in a town as opposed to a battlefront as evidence for renegade faction,
sure,
is because the Stormcasts are landing in towns because they have a hope or something of the peoples there sheltering the Stormcasts. And like more Stormcasts who...
So they're going to be relying on
the people.
The mortals.
Yes.
Okay.
And almost like a sort of if you harbor this person, you get killed sort of deal. Where Stormcasts who still follow Sigmar march into people's homes saying, are you harboring any Stormcast here?
That would be
I could
cool
totally
too.
see something like that.
The division there would be really cool and see how that gets handled. But it's all speculation.
Yep.
It could be something totally different, 100 times more awesome. It could be something totally different, not even as cool. And we're like, they should be on against Stormcast. But let us know. Tell us what you think. What did Sigmar lie about? What does that have to do with anything? Now, we will figure it out pretty soon. I think 2 days from now is Adepticon.
Yeah.
And so hopefully we'll see some more reveals.
I need to know.
And learn a little bit more. But until then, Let us know your thoughts.
What did he lie about?
This has been another episode of Battle Ready.
Ready for answers.
Thanks so much for watching.